So this is the blind tasting that you want me to do?
Yep. Tell me what you get from these two.
Seems like it's pretty high alcohol. It's a little rough around the edges. Good fruit though. This one's a little bit brighter. The fruit's a little bit more elegant. It's not quite as alcoholic and jammy.
So which one do you like better?
I think I like this one. It's a little bit more finessed. What's in the bags?
Bingo.
Okay. Ah, same wine, different temperature.
It's amazing the difference a few degrees can make. This is my pet peeve when it comes to wine service, and it's the detail that's most often overlooked. In general, people serve their white wines way too cold and their red wines way too warm.
I agree. The temperature at which you serve your wine can really affect its aromas, texture, and flavors. A great wine can become very mediocre very fast if you serve it at the wrong temperature.
Yeah, and the colder the wine is served, the more you will sense the acidity and the less you will taste and you'll smell. And the warmer it gets, the more the alcohol will begin to dominate. But what exactly is the right temperature? Let's start with the white.
White wines are most often served directly out of the fridge, which is at about 2 to 4 degrees Celsius or 34 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit. The only wines I would serve at that temperature are bad wines so that you can't really taste them.
Some people believe that white wines lack complexity and flavor, and that's usually because they drink them way too cold.
6 to 8 degrees Celsius or about 43 to 48 degrees Fahrenheit is an ideal temperature to serve the more refreshing whites. Examples are Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, or any of the other whites that are really known for their freshness. This is also the perfect temperature to serve many rosés and sweet wines, as well as the majority of champagnes and sparkling wines.
And if you were supposed to find a rich, buttery texture in your Chardonnay, it was probably because it was served a little bit too cold. White wines whose chief asset is their richer mouthfeel, like Chardonnay, Viognier, Pinot Gris from Alsace, Gewürztraminer, they should be served a little bit warmer, like 10 to 12 degrees Celsius or 50 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the great whites of the world, such as high-end Chardonnays from Burgundy and California and the whites from the Côte d'Aron, feel free to let the temperature rise even a little bit more. These wines can and should be drunk anywhere from 12 to 14 degrees Celsius or up to 58 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to maximize the depth of flavors, the textures, and the aromas in the wine.
So here's the meeting ground for red and white wines. You've probably heard the saying that red wine should be served at room temperature.
Well, this goes back to the days before there was central heating. Today, the average room temperature of most houses and restaurants is around 22 degrees Celsius or 72 degrees Fahrenheit. This becomes the de facto service temperature for your red wines. And it's even higher in the summertime.
But no red wine should ever be served that warm. For fruitier reds like Beaujolais, Dolcetto, Loire Valley Reds, and Valpolicella, the ideal service temperature is 15 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. When these wines are slightly chilled, they show off their fruit while maintaining their brightness. For wines that have a lot of fruit, but combined with a little bit more tannin and a richer texture, such as Pinot Noir from Burgundy or California, Zinfandel, Barbera, and even Chianti, you could probably serve those at 16 degrees Celsius or about 62 degrees Fahrenheit. And then as those temperatures rise a few degrees, the complexity will continue to develop. This will accent the fruit while allowing the richer textures and the tannins to show through.
And for your big reds, and for that I'm talking about Bordeaux, your California Cabs and Merlots, Australian Shiraz, Northern Rhones, Barolos, Ports, they should be served at around 18 degrees Celsius or 65 degrees Fahrenheit. This will allow you the full benefit of the aromas, the tannins, the texture, without the alcohol taking over. Once a wine gets a little bit over 20 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit, the alcohol starts to dominate.
So, how do you know that your wine is at the right temperature? It's easy. Try something out. Buy yourself a wine thermometer and start your white wines right out of the fridge and your red wines at about 15 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
And as you drink your wine, take the temperature from time to time and see what happens as it rises. Touch the bottle so you know how it feels at that temperature. Remember, nothing replaces personal experience, and this type of experiment will make you a better wine drinker. But aside from a thermometer, there is one more indispensable piece of equipment.
An ice bucket, and not just for your white wine.
And it doesn't have to be some fancy store-bought bucket. Any container that'll hold a bottle of wine will do.
Keep it handy while you're drinking your wine and give your wines a dunk from time to time to regulate the temperature. It might seem like a bit of an effort at first, but you might just find that you'll appreciate your wines that much more.
Stay cool.